Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review and another movie review during my birthday month. So we continue reviewing films during the month of my birthday of June, and another one that I planned to review during this month is a film that I love, and I had a great time seeing this in the theater from 1999, and I would put this as the second best shark film behind Jaws. Because Jaws, everyone knows that's the best shark film, right? And no other film can match it. And yeah, no other shark film can match it, right? But there can be still other ones that I do enjoy that on a good level, um, but still can be fun. But I know that this one won't match up to Jaws and on any level though. But still, I find this a fun, um, underrated film because a lot of times nowadays people will talk crap on this film, and the reason why the camera is on upper angle because the poster is up there. Now I'm not talking about Godzilla, the one on the upper corner on my on my right. Well, my right. And so I'm reviewing Deep Blue Sea. So Deep Blue Sea from 1999. I love this film to death. What can I say? It's a great shark film, and has a great cast, and it's directed by a really good director. Which I wish he would direct more films like this nowadays, but no. But Deep Blue Sea, I had tons of fun with. And before I get into the story, okay, it's directed by Renny Harlin, who I enjoy as a director. He's directed a lot of good movies, but he has directed some misses though. No director is perfect. I know that. But for the ones that okay, Cutthroat Island, I'm not a fan of. I get what it was attempted to do, but no. And it's considered one of the biggest flops of all time. But so Cutthroat Island is not something I will watch again. Driven with Sylvester Stallone. That's I'll put that as Stallone's one of his worst films. And it's too bad because it's sad because Stallone is one of my favorite actors. But Driven, not good. The Covenant, that was crap. Cleaner I've not seen, but don't care for. I'm not no interest in seeing. 12 Rounds with John Cena, that sucked. Legend of Hercules, which in 2014 there were two Hercules films. One was this one, the Renny Harlin one, then the other one was released later in 2014, was the Dwayne Johnson film. But he directed the one with Cullen Lutz, the one from the Twilight films. That sucked. Even my brother thought that sucked. But Devil's Pass, 5 Days of War, no interest in seeing. So yeah, he's not a perfect director, but he's directed a lot of good films, especially ones that are a couple of classic films as well. He directed Prison, I like. He directed a solid sequel, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. I enjoy that sequel. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, great movie. Die Hard 2, I love Die Hard 2. That's a great sequel. Cliffhanger, great, fantastic Stallone film. That's one that's I'll probably put that in one of my top 5 favorite Stallone films. Great film. The Long Kiss Goodnight. Then after that film, he did this film. Great movie. Mindhunters with LL Cool J, who's also in this. I like. Exorcist: The Beginning. Now, because there were two different prequel films to The Exorcist with the same actor, Stellan Skarsgard, who was also in this. There was Dominion prequel to The Exorcist and Exorcist: The Beginning, the one that Renny Harlin directed. Out of the two, I picked The Beginning, not Dominion. But a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like The Exorcist at the beginning. But if I pick out of the two prequel ones, I pick The Exorcist at the beginning because there was things there's elements in it that I liked in that film more than the Dominion did. So Exorcist at the beginning, I like as a decent film. It's decent. Then after that, since The Exorcist at the beginning, films I don't care for. But then earlier, last year released in 2016, he directed a Skip Trace. It was one with Jackie Chan and Johnny Knoxville. I like that one. That's like the last good film we did. So it was 2016. Then Exorcist Begin was like in 2004. So 12 years. That long. That's only. I don't love Skip Trace though, but I thought it was a decent comedy action film. So yeah, but from the class of films he's directed, like Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, then fun films like Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Elm Street 4, Dream Master, then this film. So yeah, he's a good director, but no director is perfect. They're gonna direct some decent ones and some not so good ones, but then some great films. And Renny Harlin. For me, easily the best three films for me easily is Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, and then this film. Easily my favorite three films from Renny Harlin. But this film, I found like Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2 has still some good things with people. But this one, I don't know why people think talking a little bit down on this film. I don't know why. But I still find I find this very enjoyable, a fun shark film because I'm a fan of shark films, and it has a good cast. It stars Thomas Jane, the Punisher himself, which also did other films too, but from The Mist, and he had some other good. He's done other films, but The Mutant Chronicles. He had a little supporting role in Face Off with Travolta and Cage. He was one of the prisoners. But I enjoy Thomas Jane. He doesn't get that many roles nowadays. He doesn't get that too many roles now. But I love Thomas Jane. He was great in this film. You have LL Cool J, which for the actors who are rappers and then come to actors like Ice Cube, I enjoy him in Anaconda. I enjoy LL Cool J in this. He was fun, and his name was Preach because he's the cook in the facility, but he has his crucifix and he talks to God and all that. Fun character in the film. Michael Rapaport, I remember him. He was in Copland with Stallone. I can't remember what other films he's been in. I know I've seen him in other films before. I just can't remember. But I know I remember him in Copland. So yeah, but also Stellan Skarsgard. Tons of films, like recently he's been appearing in the Marvel films. Samuel Jackson, and I know instantly, any people who've seen this film, they instantly remember Samuel Jackson in this film. But so overall you have a very good cast. The effects in this film, a lot of great practical effects on the sharks. And I forget who did the effects in here, but good practical effects. Now with CG, when it's CGI, it's not the best. I can clearly see on the CGI part. Yeah, it doesn't hold up, even though it's from 1999. Today it does not hold up well. I will give it that though, but still nitpick though. But I still, was mixed with good practical effects. I can forgive the not so good CGI. I can forgive for that though, because I'm usually a pain in the ass on good effects and bad effects. I'm usually touchy on that subject, but still, if it's a good movie, it's a good movie, and everything else goes well in the film, I can forgive for that. But if it's a bad film, then I can rip it a new one. But this way, who did the effects in this film? Didn't say on the back in here, but it doesn't say on here though. But still, whoever did the effects, good effects on the sharks when they're real looking. Good score by Trevor Rabin. I enjoy the score of this film. Good directed by Renny Harlin. How the way he shoots the film. Um. So yeah, and it came out during the summer. It was a fun summer in 1999, and pretty well at the box office on a budget of 60 million. It domestically made 73 million, so it did surpass the budget domestically, but worldwide 164 million. So it did very well on its own. It opened the same weekend as another great horror film, The Blair Witch Project. It opened the same weekend as The Blair Witch Project because I remember the summer of 1999 when this film came out, and along with the Blair Witch Project. And I had a great time seeing this in the theater as well. Back in 1999, I was about yeah, I was 8 years old when I was 8 years old when I saw this. And I'll get to why about my theater experience. So, but because it's actually pretty funny. But it got mixed, mostly negatives. Has a 5.8 IMDb. It's way too low for this film. I give it much higher rating than that. 57% of Rotten Tomatoes. Disagree with that. And what's even mind-boggling? Okay. This is how a big budget shark film should be, like this film. You take those crappy sci-fi shark films. They see like so many. Especially if the ones that are made from the asylum, like the freaking Sharknado films. Can't stand those films because the ideas has always been stupid, and so many dumb things I've seen. The first Sharknado film, on Rotten Tomatoes, gets a higher rating on that than this film. This gets a 57%, while the first Sharknado film gets an 82%. Why? Because people like the idea of sharks in a tornado, and that's why. Or that lead character jumping into that shark with the great white shark with a chainsaw. I'm still mind-boggled on that. That still plagues my mind. How does that film, which I know IMDb has a 3.3 though, which deserves lower than that though, but still on Rotten Tomatoes is what the mind-boggling is to me. 82% for that film. And even the sequel, the second one, has a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's still higher than this film. So the first two films are higher than this film. Than this film. Now, how can you explain that to me? How are those any good or any bad? I know people like, if anyone likes those, because I know now it's getting a fifth one called Global Warming. It's never gonna stop. Please stop making these films. I don't see what's so good about these sequels, or this franchise. I don't get it. But I don't see how the first two ones gets a much higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes than this film does. With better characters, better effects, better score, better directing. I don't get it. I don't get how the first two, Rotten Tomatoes ratings wise, is better than this film. It's still mind-boggling. It's still mind-boggling me. I'm totally stupefied by that. I don't get it. So yeah. That's one thing I bring up, and a lot of people bring up the thing. Some people bring up because also bring up they have similarities to Jurassic World, with the whole concept of the genetically engineered creatures that makes it smarter and all that stuff. Yeah, I totally understand that. They say it's like it's like a Deep Blue Sea reimagining with not Jaws, with a Jurassic Park vibe to it. Because I really hear because I know that Wikipedia is not always right and everything. I know that though, but they people write this stuff down with some truth to it. So, but yeah, they say that's like where is it? It says they mention plot and character similarities between Jurassic World and Deep Blue Sea. It's like Jurassic World is whoever this person is. It says Jurassic World is my favorite Deep Blue Sea remake of 2015 is when the year came out. Yeah, it says it's with Jurassic World that some aren't warming to Deep Blue Sea meets Jaws 3D storyline, or Deep Blue Sea is another movie that borrows from literal from literary, where the word is. Or Deja Vu, isn't Jurassic World just Deep Blue Sea with dinosaurs, with which outline plot and character similarities between the two films? Yeah, it does, because like with Thomas Jane, who's like a guy who helps with these sharks, while you take with Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, he's training the raptors. You can take that. You can take that, or with the with the Indominus Rex, genetically altered, and same with the Mako sharks. Wait, because also in this, these are Mako sharks, not great whites. So yeah, I could definitely say there is definitely a whole bunch of stuff, basically almost copying Deep Blue Sea for Jurassic World. Except yeah, it's a Deep Blue Sea remake, but with dinosaurs. So I don't totally get though. I can definitely see why people compare it to Jurassic World. And I'll review Jurassic World some other time though, but not now. Though, so because I got certain things that I'm still mixed about though, so I will get to Jurassic World some other time if anyone's wondering. But so I'm just saying that because people make comparisons with this film, which I could totally understand with the situations, characters, and the plot and all that. Yeah, but I will say Deep Blue Sea is definitely better than Jurassic World. I'll still say that though. It's like when I saw this film all the way back when, and I still love it to this day, and I still think it's better than Jurassic World. But all that's said and done, in the story, Saffron Burrows, who is her right there, she's a scientist who has another team of scientists. They want to make a cure for Alzheimer's disease, and they have this underwater research lab named Aquatica, and well, how the film opens up is with these group of teenagers on a boat, and once with good effects, a practical shark, it bursts through the floor of the boat, and the teens, they're in the water, they're trying to get out of the water, and as the shark's about to get them, Thomas Jane stops it. And this was Saffron Burrows is talking with in this corporate business where Samuel Jackson's there, and really enough, Ronnie Cox is in there. If anyone knows Ronnie Cox, he's best known to playing Dick Jones from RoboCop, and he was also the captain in Beverly Hills Cop as well, and also Total Recall. 3 films I definitely remember Ronnie Cox from. He's a good actor, Ronnie Cox, and he's there. He doesn't say no dialogue. He's just sitting there in his chair while Samuel Jackson's at his side, and he's the one who's doing the talking, and while Saffron Burrows is also talking about this incident as well. Ronnie Cox, he doesn't say nothing. He's just probably there. He's just there for, I guess, Renny Harlin. Maybe I thought it would be funny to put Ronnie Cox in there just for the shits and giggles and have him give no lines of dialogue. He's just sitting there. That's it. But hey, let's see Ronnie Cox in there for no reason. But yeah, so Samuel Jackson goes with her to the research lab, and where the rest of the team consists of Michael Rapaport, Stellan Skarsgard, this woman played by Jacqueline McKenzie, this other woman, Ada Totoro, who plays this other woman, and L Cool J, he's the cook of the place. And that's basically the whole team. And Thomas Jane, he's with the shark, and he gets the license plate out of its mouth, which is actually the same license plate number as the one from Jaws, where Richard Dreyfuss took out the tiger shark. So yeah, it was kind of funny. Can I say not the Jaws? And Samuel Jackson is being shown around the place, and in which Samuel Jackson tells about, because he also with this character, he's a guy who helped, he was survive during this avalanche, and he survived it, which you hear later in the film. And they do the experiment on the sharks, there's three of them. Well, there was four, but you see one getting fed to these other two. And with LL Cool J, his name is Preach because he talks to God and he has his crucifix. Get a little fun moments where he's talking with his bird, that has a mouth on it. He's like, "Hey, you dickhead, fat butt, you got a big fat butt." And yeah, it's pretty fun with the bird and so when they do the experiments. They test it. They bring the main shark that's the biggest out of the three. They examine its brain, and they finally have they have the little things to which they have the cure for. And Stellan Skarsgard, he's like having a smoke, and he stands right next to the shark. And the shark, it's well done model of the shark. It still looks good to this day. It looks like an actual mako shark, because it's different from what it is from a great white. But he sits there too close to it, and all of a sudden, boom! The shark just goes and bites his right arm off. Good gore effect. Just really takes a good bite out of his whole arm. And so they had to call for a helicopter a medic, like an can't keep on saying the word, a medic helicopter. But they're trying to, because also there's this big storm out there, and they get him on. They hoist him up through the cable of the helicopter. He's being hoisted up, but the thing malfunctions, and then just drops him right into the water, and you see it being jerked forward in the water, but you get the idea that the shark has taken Stellan Skarsgard and is dragging the helicopter. It's still holding to the cable, and goes through these metal, the metal floor, I should say. He's ripping through the floor and just drags the helicopter right into the building and explodes. Though the woman in the tower gets killed and causes a big explosion. And the rest of the team are in the lab, and they see Samuel Jackson says, "Somebody, please tell me what that is." And they see off in the distance that Stellan Skarsgård is still in the stretcher, and the shark is carrying him, throws him up against the glass window, and they have to get out because it's gonna break, it's gonna flood the place. But the woman doesn't want to leave because that's her husband. But then the whole room starts filling. They shut the door, and with LL Cool J, he's on another level, and he's all by himself with his bird. And then he's at one part where he goes up to this stairway. Then the water starts coming in, and he's like, oh, and he starts to run, but he's like, he gets washed away. And I like where the camera shows the hallway, and as he's getting swept away, and you hear him like, he's like, oh shit. This is how the way he's being swept away by the water. You hear him say, oh shit. It's kind of funny. I like LL Cool J. This is the film that he's been in other films, but this is the film I mostly remember him from. Definitely. So then they have to get to this one other part of the place where there's a sub, and this is where the woman Saffron Burrows explains that she enhanced the shark's brain for the cure, but at the same time made the sharks much more smart, given a bigger brain. So sorry, we do this because it's been hot. It's been hot for the past few nights. So yeah, so she explains all that, and with LL Cool J, since he's now part of the hallway that's flooded, he sees a shark fin. He starts swimming for his life. He gets back in the kitchen, this is one of my favorite scenes where he's in the kitchen and his bird still mouthing off, and he's like, come here, bird, and then the shark eats the bird, and he hides, and then he hides in his oven, and I get the whole thing with how the water like dials the oven on, put the gas on. I know I get that though, but it's a nitpick, but still, it turns the oven on, and he's in the oven, and he has his little axe to get through the other part of the oven. He's like, I met Daniel when he faced the lion, so I appreciate the irony, Lord. Cook dies in his own oven. I got other plans. So he gets through the other part of the oven. He jumps right behind it, and to get this little good part of the score by Trevor Rabin. As he, turns on his light and you have the score like dun 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 dun. I can't do the score, but that little part of the score as he's about to, get his lighter, and then he goes, "You ate my bird," flings it, and because the gas is on, it's still in the oven, and lights the whole place. The shark blows up. Well, good explosion. One part of it was like a little practical explosion, while the other one's like CG, but good explosion, and I thought it was a good. LL Cool J, he gets his badass moment where he just goes up, flings it, and then blows the shark up. And then this when Samuel, and of course gets the scene where everybody remembers this film from, where Samuel Jackson, where he's giving his speech, and then all of a sudden, surprise, the shark takes him. Now, of course, this is where the scene where the CG in it. Where the big shark gets Samuel Jackson, the whole CG parts. I know it's not the best. It's not the best CG. It's not that good. It's still not good to this day. I can still understand that though, but I can forgive it because I enjoy the film. Plus, everyone thought that Samuel Jackson was gonna live when they first saw this, but it was a big surprise that he died because he's talking, and then all of a sudden, out surprise, the shark just grabs him. Even though it's CG though, but still the whole concept of it, surprise, he gets eaten. And even shows the underwater scene where the smaller shark takes Samuel Jackson, rips him in half, and takes his half, but the shark has the other half. And even with that score, I can't remember how to do the score. When Samuel Jackson is being eaten, and then that score it's a good score. And it's like, I can't do that part of the score, I guess I'll screw it up anyway. But still. So, yeah, and it's still a surprising death. I still think it's still a surprising death to this day because the whole thing I seen this back in 1999. It's like, oh, So yeah, the whole place starts flowing again. They get this shaft part, and they're climbing, and Thomas Jane was gonna open this little part of the level that's partially flooded, so it buys him some time. The ladder breaks, and then the woman who was like the wife to Stellan Skarsgard, she falls in, and then the shark grabs her off from underneath, and which is this scene right there, if you can see it right there, right here. So she dies. See the blood flowing in the water, and then LL Cool J comes from the upper part of the level and helps them out, and so. And Thomas Jane and Michael Rapaport, they're gonna do they were try to turn on these controllers back where the lab first flooded from. Like, I forget whether to turn on these controllers, and I forget the whole part of that part was. But and with LL Cool J has a moment where he turns on this video camera. He was basically giving like his last will and testament in case he doesn't make it. So he's giving his last will basically on video, and he gives a funny moment where he starts, he says, "What more do I need to leave behind?" And he starts like, "We begin with an omelet that's made with 2 eggs, not 3." So he's basically giving like an omelet recipe for our last will and testament. I thought it was Samuel Jackson. I'm saying Samuel Jackson. LL Cool J. I like his character. He's funny, especially with his bird, and he has some funny moments as well. But he's a likable character, and I like the guy. Preach. And And then when Thomas Jane and Michael Rapaport were at the underwater lab, they see Stellan Skarsgard. He drowned, of course. He was because the room was flooded, so he drowned. He's like, and Michael Rapaport, he gets killed next. The main shark comes in, and this is where that play at the end that shot that played at the end of the trailer before the title shows. It does like, and then he gets torn in half. Like, yeah, even though that part was I like the concept of it, but even though the CG, yeah, it doesn't still not all that great though. But still, the concept of it, the shark just goes and rips his half off, and then the other, like the legs, the lower half is like floating. So yeah, it's still the characters get killed off in vicious fashions, and it's a shark film. It doesn't hold back on it because it's a shark film. That's how it's supposed to be when people get eaten in these type of films. So they don't hold back on that. It shows with Samuel Jackson's death and then Michael Rapaport's death. So yeah, that's how shark films are supposed to be. See people get just torn to pieces. So, and then the Saffron Burrows woman, she was going back into her office because she was trying to retrieve like her she had all of her research data on hard drives, on discs. So she tried to get that, and there was a second shark. It's the smaller one, not the main one. So, but then she gets the idea where she's on a bookshelf ledge, and people get a little fascinated because she takes off her wetsuit, and because it's a wetsuit, so it prevents her from getting electric shock, and she gets the wires, and she shocks the shark, and that's when you see the shark being shocked. It's not, once again, not hold up CG effect, but then her data got burned as well. So, and also one thing I find I kind of find funny is that the three sharks, in the order they die in, it's like the same thing, the same order from the Jaws films. The first shark, with LL Cool J, he blew it up, just like the first shark got blown up in the first film. The second shark in Jaws 2, got electrocuted. Second shark that dies in this film, electrocuted. And the last shark from Jaws 3 as well, they both get blown up. I think they were trying to do that as a nod to the Jaws films. It's like, yeah, the first shark got blown up, and the second one got electrocuted, and then the third one got blown up as well. So yeah, with a license plate from Jaws, and then that reference for Jaws. If anyone didn't notice. So yeah. So then they get into this one room, they're going to flood, that's the only way out. And LL Cool J, he gives a good speech. He says a prayer. He's like, yea through I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Surely goddess and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Because I carry a big stick, I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valley. 2 sharks down, Lord, with 1 demon fish to go. Can I get an amen? An amen, amen. So yeah, that's a memorable prayer from LL Cool J. At least to me, it is. He gives a good prayer. He's like, I carry a big stick, I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valley. So yeah, I thought that was a good line that he says with his prayer. And as they're trying to swim to the surface, the main shark comes in, and once again the part of the score by Trevor Rabin, as when the shark comes on the screen, you hear that score, da 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 da. I can't do it. Once again, I can't do it. But even my brother knows that he likes that part of the score where when the shark comes in, they have that score playing. So then they have these extinguishers as distractions. But LL Cool J, he gets bit in the leg and it's holding on to him. And LL Cool J, he gets his crucifix and he stabs him in the eye. People will say that's ridiculous, but still, hey, if he stabs in the eye, I should feel pain, so it lets him go. So he gets his wound treated, and he's like passed out. And then Thomas Jane, he realizes what the whole shark's plan was, because the shark it wanted them to sink the whole place. So as the whole facility sinks, they'll be able to escape through this part of the fence because, as he explains, the fences are underneath are titanium, but on top they're just plain steel. It's because the steel is the weak part, so it's been letting them to sink the facility so they can shoot through the weakest part of the fence so it can get through. And as what Thomas Jane says, that as the title, that's the answer to the riddle, because that's what an 8,000-pound Mako thinks about freedom, about the deep blue sea. So yeah, about the deep blue sea. So then they have those plan is she just shoot an arrow that's filled with dynamite, and she's gonna hook the other end of the cable to the car battery to ignite it, and then boom. Which they did. Which they did that on MythBusters. They think is that possible, and it says it's not. It's a movie. It's not supposed to be real. I get that. So yeah, they on MythBusters they say, oh, but that's supposed to be a real thing. No, it's a movie. It's not supposed to be. But yeah, and so Thomas Jane he tries to try to get a shot, but he can't. And then Saffron Burrows cuts her hands, does like the self-sacrifice, and then she gets eaten, which is kind of thing which because how it makes the thing that how in all these horror films how the lead is always the female and she's like always a fighter fighting back and always a survivor. I like that. I like it took a turn on this because Thomas Jane he's more of the lead at least to me because I like Thomas Jane. And he's the hunter and all this, basically. And yeah, they does like pull the switch where the lead female is not a survivor in this. She gets eaten. Another one that gets torn apart. And then LL Cool J he gets well first what LL Cool J he has the gun to shoot, and then Thomas Jane he does like to get away out of the shark he does like a somersault and he's riding on by the fin. And then LL Cool J, he gets to shoot the arrow, and Thomas Jane's like, shoot it, preach, shoot it. And he shoots it. It hits the shark in the fin though, but it also goes right through Thomas Jane's leg. So, but he's telling him to use the battery. As the shark gets through, he ignites it. It blows up. But it's the Thomas Jane who survives, and I like the ending where it's Thomas Jane and LL Cool J. They're the only survivors, and I liked ever since I saw this back in the day. I liked that these two at the end, which on the cover they're the first two on the list right there. They're the survivors. I always liked that they both survived the end of the films because I like Thomas Jane and I like LL Cool J. So yeah, he's like 45-foot shark, and you hit me. Nice. Shit, it could have been worse. I couldn't let him eat your ass. So yeah, and then they see the next boat approach in, and Thomas Jane's like, "Let me tell you something, man. I quit this job." And LL Cool's like, "Take me back to the ghetto." And Thomas Jane's like, "Amen." And then the film ends with him, the white shot of the facility, and you have LL Cool J's song "Shark's Fin." My hat is like a shark's fin, deep as blue as my hat is like a shark's fin. Now I'm not a fan of rap, to be honest. I'm not a fan of rap. But back in the day, I did like the song because it's LL Cool J though. But I don't listen to many of his songs anyway though. But I like him as an actor. I liked him in this film, and I actually didn't mind him in Mindhunters. I thought he did pretty good in Mindhunters, LL Cool J. But I'm not a fan of rap. But I'd probably say this though. Because my brother, he's more of the rap guy, because he listens to freaking Eminem and all those other ones. But I'm not a fan of rap. But if I would say probably say the only rap song I like is this one right here from Deep Blue Sea, because that was like the first rap song I heard of back in 1999. That was, Shark's Fin. My hat is like a shark's fin. Man-made terror. Whoever LL Cool J said, because it also has because I've seen the music video of that song for this film, and I like the music video. It's mixing with between LL Cool J singing, he's in the water, and then cuts to clips between him and in the film as well. But yeah, 40 minutes in this film. But hey, it deserves it because this film is such an underrated film. It's fun, shark film. It's my second favorite shark film, and I love this film. And it's a very fast paced film. It's only 105 minutes, but it goes at a very fast pace. Now, going back where I was saying that the funny thing is that now there's this is one of the greatest film experiences that I ever seen. That's the truth. Because one was seeing Godzilla from 1998, and then this film. I never got that too many good experiences as I did back in the day, when I was a kid. One was definitely Godzilla 1998, that film right there, and then this film. Now, what's funny is that, okay, I was 8 years old at the time, because it was 1999, and I saw this in the theater with my cousin and my uncle. Right. I saw it with them. Now the funny part is my brother, he wanted to see this film with me. And he didn't. Because he was with my mom and my aunt. And there was another film that came out at the same time as this film did. He got to saw with my mom, instead of seeing this film with me, my cousin and my uncle, he saw Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere with my mom and my aunt, and he was very upset about it. He is still upset to this day that he never saw this with me back in 1999, because they thought it was probably too scary and too violent for him. And he was 7 at the time, and I was 8. So, yeah, that's why I still find it funny. So I saw this, and he didn't. Back in the theater, I saw this, and he saw Runaway Bride instead. I still remember that. I still remember that day. That's why I find it still funny. That's why I call it a great movie experience, because I still get the kick out, because my brother, he had a chance to see this with me, but my brother said, "Oh, this is too scary, too bloody for you," and he got to see it with my mom and my aunt. He got to see a romantic comedy, Runaway Bride. I still find that funny, still to this day. I guess lucky me, I got to see this with my cousin and my uncle, and I had a great time seeing this in the theater with 3 of us. That's why I say it was one of the greatest movie experiences I've ever seen. I know them. I know it sucked for my brother, because he was 7, I was 8, because I had with parental guidance, and well, he could have had though, but still my mother thought that was probably too violent or scary for him. So yeah, he was upset back then. He's still upset to this day still. So yeah, so I would say this is one of the greatest movie experiences that I've seen back in when I was a kid. Definitely, I enjoyed it seeing it back in the day. I still love this film today, and I'll always remember I had a great time seeing this film back in the theater. From the trailers, the TV spots. It was worth seeing. It was definitely one of the greatest things I've seen, experiences I've ever had. And that's part of the reason why I love this film still to this day. And because the whole thing of this today, I find it underrated and all that. But this film gave me a great movie experience. That's why I always have a little special thing of one of the things that for movie theater experiences. One of the best, my prime example for me having a great movie experience when I was a kid. This was a prime example, and same thing with Godzilla 1998. That's why these 2 films are the 2 greatest movie experiences I've ever had seen when I was a kid. That's the honest truth. So yeah, I love this film to death, and I'm going 45 minutes in. Hey, but it's worth reviewing because it's a great film. It deserves more respect. Now, yeah, I still find this better than Jurassic World because the people compare this with the plot, characters, and all that still, and I definitely see why they took stuff from this and put it in Jurassic World. I can definitely say that though. But the only thing, like I said, it's too bad I never got to see that back in the theater because the film performed so poorly and it disappeared from theaters. So yeah, too bad I never got to see that though. Great shame, but still. And I'm still battling the Sharknado, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, like 3 times higher than this film on Rotten Tomatoes. Why, why, why? And Sharknado 2, which is a couple percent higher than this film, still, why? This film is like better than probably every single crappy, shitty, badly CGI'd shark film I've seen on sci-fi. Sharktopus, or Sharktopus, or Ghost Shark, even any of the Sharknado films, or Two-Headed Shark Attack, and all those but especially by the way, I've seen the ones I did like those other shark films I got from the DVD packaging from a while back. Deep Blue Sea, definitely 3 times better than all those other ones. And those other ones I'll do. Those are gonna be rants still. You have to wait and see on those, but still, bigger, smarter, faster, meaner. Yeah, great cast, great score, great directed by Renny Harlin. I enjoy this. Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, and this film are my top 3 favorite films from Renny Harlin. He did a great job with the film. I wish he could do more films like this. I really wish. As for special features, and also on the inside too, cool looking as well. I like the image of how that shark looks right there. I like that. And Thomas Jane, he was great in the film. I enjoyed Thomas Jane. And plus, if anyone remembers the film, it's Samuel Jackson, his memorable CGI death. But still, it was supposed to be a surprise. Like, hey, anybody can die in that film, even a top-notch actor like Samuel Jackson. As I was saying, for features, has behind-the-scenes documentary, has a full-length audio commentary with director Renny Harlin and Samuel Jackson, deleted scenes with optional commentary with Renny Harlin, Sharks of the Deep Blue Sea, the special effects documentary looking at the models, great practical effects, and the computer-generated imagery of the film's sharks. Which, yeah, the CG doesn't hold up to this today still. Even back from 1999, I can still forgive it, though, because I had fun with the film. I can definitely see, but it's a nitpick, though. But I can forgive it because I had fun with the film. But the shark models, well done practical effects. Good gore, and even with the CG deaths, though, but the concept of them, and good shark deaths, so it's LL Cool J, badass one where he blew up the first shark. And the deaths, like with Samuel Jackson's death, the concept of it, and Michael Rapaport, and even Saffron Burrows got her ass torn to bits. Stellan Skarsgard, he just drowned because he was under the water. Even the woman, she got bit, like she was in a shark's mouth from how the way I would say, she was up, that part, but except she rose up and then she was already in the shark's mouth. But I don't know more I can say. The film is underrated as hell. It deserves more respect. I don't get why people trash talk the film nowadays. People like the film. That's good. But I'm saying the whole people don't trash. I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, it's definitely a film that one of the greatest movies experience I ever had. This is definitely one of two of the greatest movie experiences I ever had when I was seeing as a kid. And it's still a funny story. Why I guess like I said it did. So I love this film to death. If anyone's not seen this film, please check it out. I highly recommended it. If anyone who's a fan of shark films, I know this is my favorite. It's my second favorite shark film. I know it'll never be on the same level as Jaws. Jaws is up here, but it's a couple of notches down here still, and it's still on the good level. A lot better than those crappy sci-fi asylum films, or better. Jaws for the Revenge, definitely way better than that. Even the first two sequels better than Jaws for Revenge still. The Shallows, I think it's probably the best shark film I've seen in a long time. I like The Shadows. I'll put it a couple notches below Deep Blue Sea. Because I enjoy the film. Now, I have not yet seen 47 Meters Down. I have not seen that film. I'll get around it. Not in the theater though, but I'll wait for DVD on that. 47 Meters Down. I'll get around that, though. But hey, because shark films are starting to come back because they got The Shallows, and then this film, and next year then there's Meg with Jason Statham. Shark films are starting to make a comeback. I can see why, because it was due to the success of The Shallows. It performed well, box office and critical wise. But yeah, and also it was also produced. Also, one thing forgetting, it's produced by Akivia Goldsman, who's produced on a lot of films. Even recently, he's produced on the written by Transformers Last Night. But still, Akivia Goldsman. He's a name that I know of. He's produced, helped make on a lot of films as well, producer wise. Gotta mention him as well. But yeah, other than that, with the not so good CJ that still doesn't hold up though. Other than that though, I love this film to death, and it's definitely worth going on a long review because it definitely deserves a good review. So yeah. So Deep Blue Sea. Well, I probably can't see it because the lighting is showing on that poster though, but still. But love this film to death. It'll always be a whole special place for one of the greatest movie experiences I ever had. This film. And that film, Godzilla. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. And stay tuned for the more stuff coming up I want to do for my birthday month, and those are coming up, so. But yeah, Deep Blue Sea, definitely 2 thumbs up. I love this film to death. One of my favorite. I'll probably even put this as one of my favorite films as well. So yeah, but thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.